So let me introduce you to a couple of very inexpensive gadgets that can help you get the most out of your table saw. The first is this here. It's a miter slot caliper base. Helps you adjust your table saw fence so it's in line with your miter slot. A very important adjustment. The next is this little magnetic caliper base. This allows you to make very precise adjustments to your fence. So they both have one thing in common. They both allow you to use a set of existing calipers, and you attach those calipers to these bases, and they turn this into a little miniature digital readout. So you can get machine shop accuracy at your table saw. So I think the most important adjustment you can make to your table saw is to make sure that your fence is in alignment with your miter slot. That does a couple of things. The first is that it reduces saw marks, gives you a better quality cut. The second is it can actually contribute to safety. Because if you have a table saw fence that's pinched in a little bit on the backside, as you push a board through, it can bind and it can contribute to kickback. So you can buy all kinds of jigs to adjust your table saw fence. Some of them cost upwards of $300, which to me makes no sense. Because I make adjustments to my table saw fence maybe once a year, maybe every 2 years. So why would I spend that much money on a jig that I would use that infrequently? That's where this one really shines, because this thing comes in at 10 bucks. So here, let me show you how it works. You drop it in your miter slot. It fits in there really nicely, and then it slides up and down. And you attach your calipers to it here like that. Then you move the head till the probe comes in contact with your fence. You hit the 0 button. Then you move it to the other side of your fence, all the way to the other side of your fence, and you touch the probe to it. Now it tells you exactly how many thousandths you need to move your fence, so it's perfectly aligned with your miter slot. I do one extra adjustment though. I have the back side of my fence popped out about 2/1000ths of an inch. This gives me just a little more clearance, and I find that I get a much better cut. And here's an example of a board that I just cut after I adjusted my fence. It's a piece of hackberry, very hard wood. I cut this on my saw and I cannot see any saw marks. It is perfect. So that's the kind of cut you can get with a properly adjusted fence. So there's the miter slot caliper base. Now let's move on to the magnetic caliper base. There's times where I really want to get a super accurate cut right off the saw. Like let's say I have a groove and I need to get a piece to fit exactly in that groove, or if I'm trying to get a tenon to fit precisely in a mortise. I want to be able to move my table saw down to the 1,000th of an inch. So I put this little mag base on my saw. It's got a very strong magnet on the bottom. It attaches very securely. I take my calipers, I screw it down, and then I move my head in and touch my fence. I zero it out. Now, as I make adjustments to my fence, I can see exactly how far I'm moving, down to the 1,000th of an inch. Now, one thing that I find a little awkward when I do this is I have to kind of keep pressure on my calipers all the time when I'm moving. So one little hack that I came up with is I take rubber bands, I stretch them around the head, around the red knob. Now this provides constant tension on my probe, so it keeps it pressed against the fence. So when I move it, no matter which way I move it, it keeps it perfectly, in line with the side of the fence. It's a nice feature. So let me say a little word about calipers. I mean, there's a lot of different options out there, and I've been using the eye gauging calipers for years now, and I think they're the best value in caliper that you can get. They are very robust, they're very sturdy, they're very accurate. They have a dust and moisture rating, or IP54. But the thing that I like most about these calipers is that the batteries last forever. I mean, this caliper is going on 2 years. The same battery has been in it for 2 years. Because there's nothing worse than pulling a set of calipers out of my drawer and having the battery dead. Then I have to run to Walmart and buy a battery for $5. There's nothing more annoying. So that's what I love about these calipers. So I'll put a link in the description below where you can pick these up. I'll also put a link in the description below where you can buy these two devices, the miter slot caliper base and the magnetic caliper base. So both of these are made by MAG-DRO. They're made in the USA, and both of them are available from taytools.com.